It's Emily with veevonderland. It's important to make sure that you're wearing a button-up shirt whenever you're doing your makeup because you don't want to spill your makeup on whatever special occasion outfit or night out, date night, etc. outfit that you want to wear. You can also do your hair and your makeup in this, so when you take it off, it's very easy to take off your shirt and you can easily change into the dress, keeping your outfits clean and ready for the occasion. This hack is if you want to make a tinted sunscreen, but you only have a foundation here that doesn't have any SPF and SPF sunscreen that does not have any tint to it. So, by common reasoning, you can just combine these two together. I am using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation, blah blah blah. It's basically the Luminous Silk foundation in the color 3.5. And this is great because it has a pump, so it's a lot easier to kind of measure things out. And then this one that I'm using for the sunscreen is the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil-Free UV Protection. Basically, it's the liquid Shiseido Broad Spectrum SPF 42. So what I'm gonna do, get this pump right here, I've got this. And this is the medium coverage. They do have a high coverage if you want, but I find medium coverage to be good for just kind of every day, and it's also buildable, so that's kind of great. And then I'm going in here with the Shiseido liquid. You want a liquid for both, and you want to make sure that they're both either water-based or they're both either oil-based, because if not, then they're gonna not be able to mix together because it's oil and water. But this here, as you can see, they are both more water-based, so they're able to really meld in together. And then I'm just gonna use cushion to kind of bring it in together. And now you've got a foundation that you can use that has SPF protection and is your favorite foundation. The next hack that I'm going to talk about is something called stippling, which is when you apply foundation or whatever sort of liquid makeup, and instead of smearing it on, you're just lightly tapping it and patting it in gentle circular motions. So this is kind of the way that I normally do things anyways. I've already have my primer on, but I just sort of do it like this rather than like kind of smearing it. Maybe I'll like smear a little bit just to like kind of get the foundation on in the first place. But it's good to do this because you have tons and tons of pores, and in order to make a smoother finish, you want to put the product into your pores rather than smearing it. So you have a much smoother finish. I'm just going ahead and making more of the tinted sunscreen that I made earlier. And for this one, it really depends on how natural you want it. If you want it to still kind of have that medium coverage and you've got like a medium coverage sort of foundation, it's good to do like 1-to-1 ratio, like 1 drop to 1 drop. Obviously, if you want a more heavy sort of coverage, then you're going to want to put less sunscreen and more of the foundation. Another pro tip that's kind of important to remember is when you're shopping for foundation, rather than swatching it onto your wrist, it's important to get it to close to your face as possible. So it'd be great if you could test it right here on your neck. I know because of COVID, it's hard to kind of test it on your face. Sometimes they will let you test it here on your forehead. You just need to make sure though, to do it closer, either here or more here, because for me, my forehead is darker because when I go out in the sun, it tends to kind of tan unevenly, so that's something to watch out for. But I would say the neck is the best place to kind of test the concealer color and the foundation color for when you're shopping for those two. So normally once you put on your foundation, what's next is usually the brows. I'm gonna go in with this L'Oreal Defining and Stylist brow pen in dark brown. And a tip that I kind of learned from the internet is if you make little marks here, like little landmarks, and you make sure that they're even, it's a little bit easier for you to figure out what area you need to shade in. As you can see here, sometimes I'm thinning in my hair here, so that's why it's important to do these landmarks, because my hair on my brows are not always the most reliable landmark. So like even though there's just straight up skin here, I'd have to go in and fill that in. And then it looks really harsh right now, but that's why I go in with this spoolie here and I kind of just brush everything in to make it look a lot more like it's blended. as you can see here, I finished filling out my brows, but unfortunately they're uneven, which this tends to happen to me a lot. Which is why we're going to do another makeup hack. Woohoo! So this makeup hack is when you use concealer to kind of define your brows a little bit more, clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up, and then also to kind of even out your brows more. And so I'm using the I'm using the Milk Flex concealer in the color Golden Nude. So I kind of start off right here, where I need to be, and then I just kind of like right there. And I kind of look at the shape of what it's doing, so I think I just kind of that a little bit, right, to make it a little less, I'm not sure what the word is, a little less curved. And then if you really wanted, I think I'm pretty okay with this actually, you can always do this and then kind of blend it out just to make it more sharp. This one I will do though. Like so. Then like the edge of the brow too. Kind of want that straight edge. Then I would kind of go in with a Q-tip and I'd sort of blend out everything that needs to be blended out. Something really important to note about this eyebrow hack with the concealer is that you have to have a concealer that perfectly matches your skin, because if not, then you're pretty much just highlighting wherever your brows are, and then it's gonna look really weird because you're gonna have like this white border around your brows. So try to get to as close as your natural skin tone or whatever skin tone your foundation will make you look like as possible. This next hack may not be something that a lot of beginner makeup artists know, or a lot of people who are just starting out with makeup, but it's so important to put on primer. And by that, I mean primer for your face, primer for your eyes, and primer for your lips. They also have a mascara primer as well, but the two that I'm talking about is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Primer, and this one is the one that I always use in all of my tutorials. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Eden. And so eyeshadow primer potion is going to go on. Doesn't have to be perfect, I'm just gonna blend it out as long as you get more or less like the general amount even for both. And then you also want to put this on. This I recommend, even though it's like, oh, what is this for? It's literally just a Vaseline stick. It is not just a Vaseline stick. It has almost like a gummier texture. And for someone like me that has lips that dry out really easily, this is so important for wearing matte lipstick and having a matte look that I can finally wear without having crusty lips within 5 minutes. And you can kind of just use the sponge, whatever sponge it is that you're using, to just kind of pat it out again. Maybe you're wondering, oh man, the discoloration here, it's kind of weird. That's okay, because you're going to be putting eyeshadow. Hopefully that's why you're priming your eyes. And when you put on the eyeshadow, can't really tell honestly. So I'm gonna quickly go ahead and put on some eyeshadow now, and then I'll see you back for the next tutorial. For those of you wondering where I got this makeup inspiration from and where you can also learn how to do sort of a golden shimmery look, I have my summer makeup look tutorial up, and you can go ahead and watch that, where it's step-by-step, glam, natural, it's golden, and it's perfect for summer, so go ahead and check that out after this video. Continuing on with the makeup hacks, I'm gonna go in with this black liner, this black eyeshadow rather, as a liner, and it's called Because of You from the Because of You I Dance All Day veevonderland palette. And I'm using an angled brush here. You can use any angled brush, this is just a regular one from Sephora, but when you get a thin angled brush like this, it's so much easier to kind of line your eyes, and you won't get like squiggly kind of marks when you're doing your eyeliner. This also doubles as a great eyeliner for those with oily skin like me. I remember whenever I put on like liquid eyeliner, after a few hours it kind of smudged even though I wouldn't really touch it, and that's just because of the oils that are secreted. So two options. One, you can either do this, or two, you go ahead and go in with your liquid liner and put this powder on top. I just choose to stick with the powder only because it gives me more precision and more control. So the next makeup hack that I'm using is actually a highlighter hack, and I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in Trippin' by Rihanna, and this is a beautiful gold, rose gold sort of color, and this kind of works as a blush as well as a highlighter. So I'm gonna go in here, kind of do that 3, And I did a little bit of contour here, but I want to put it and sort of blend it in there, as well as my nose a little bit. This. I'll blend it out with a cushion so it'll look more natural. And then right here, I want to go in the arch right here. And then I'll blend that out a little bit. But by doing that, you kind of give a little bit more definition to your lips. The last makeup hack for today's video is to use lip products as cheek products and cheek products as lip products. So this is the Giorgio Armani A blush in the color Peach. And this is kind of a liquid. It almost reminds me of one of those lip tints. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it as so. I've already put on the lip primer, so that's great. And I just like to put it in the inner part and then sort of like do this, just to kind of organically tint my lips. And this is good for like everyday use, more so than if you were to do like prom, then you would kind of want more of a defined lip. But this is just kind of a more casual ombre look. And then I've already gone ahead and used the highlighter as a blush, so I don't want to put on too much blush, but these two would be great to use, or the soft pink. These are all the lipsticks from the Love in My Life collection from the veevonderland Cosmetics lipstick line. And so you can use the nude one or the deep berry. I wouldn't recommend using the classic red as a cheek tint, but I guess if you do it a little bit lightly and you have a darker skin tone, then that could work. Or they have the soft pink one as well. And what you can do is you can put a little bit here as a cream and sort of like rub it out. And then if you have really dry skin, then I would recommend putting a little bit of that with something like a cream, like a moisturizer, and then kind of smush it together a little bit and then kind of pat it on like a cheek tint. So that would be how you would use your lipstick as a cheek tint or blush. Alright, and that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next. See ya!